All right, welcome back. Today we're going to tackle something a little counterintuitive, maybe even a bit uncomfortable. What if I told you that talking about your big dreams is actually what's killing them? It's a wild idea, right? Let's dive in and unpack this.
Okay, let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you ever had that amazing burst of inspiration? You know the feeling. You're going to write that novel, start that business, finally learn guitar. You're so pumped you tell everybody. And then, poof. A week later, all that excitement is just gone. Does that hit a little too close to home?
Well, guess what? You're not alone. And it's not just you being lazy or undisciplined. Nope. There's a real psychological thing happening here. It turns out that announcing your plans can literally sabotage your chances of actually doing them.
So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to look at what I'm calling the spoken dream paradox. Then we'll jump into a great story, the parable of Simon. We'll get into the psychology of praise, the real power of silence, and then, most importantly, I'll give you a game plan so you can actually protect your own dreams.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the spoken dream paradox. This is all about that super frustrating cycle, right? You announce, you get praised, and then nothing happens. And to really get our heads around this, let's meet the main character of our story. So let's picture this. A small village, and in it lives this young guy named Simon. And Simon is just bursting with big dreams. One week, he's telling everyone he's going to open the biggest shop in town. The next, he's going to be a master potter. The intentions were always amazing, but Simon, well, he had this one little habit that was destroying everything.
And this is his cycle of failure, laid out right here. Day 1, he makes the big announcement. He gathers a crowd. Day 2, he gets all the applause, all the praise, and man, he feels incredible. He feels like he's already a success. But then, fast forward a week, all that motivation, gone. And the project, abandoned. And this wasn't a one-time thing. This happened again and again and again.
Just think about that for a second. Years go by. Simon becomes the guy with the big ideas, the talker. But his hands are empty. His reputation is just words. And deep down, he feels this crushing sense of shame. He's totally stuck and has no idea why you can't just, do the thing he says he's going to do.
Okay, but this is where things start to change. A wise village elder, who's been watching all this, sees how miserable Simon is, and he decides to step in. But he doesn't give him a lecture. No, he teaches him a lesson with a simple story that gets right to the heart of the problem.
He tells Simon the parable of the 2 seeds. Imagine this. He takes one seed and quietly, without telling a soul, he plants it in the dark, rich soil and nurtures it. Then he takes the second seed. This one he holds up for the whole village to see. He announces, "This will be a magnificent tree." Everyone cheers, they applaud, and then he just leaves the seed out on a rock, where it withers away. Meanwhile, that first seed, the silent one, it grows into a strong, healthy plant.
And here's the kicker. The elder tells him, when you share your dreams too early, your mind thinks the goal is already achieved. And what's so wild is that modern psychology totally backs this up. Getting that praise, that social validation, it actually gives your brain a little hit of dopamine. It's a premature sense of accomplishment. The praise literally tricks your brain into feeling like the hard work is already done, and so the motivation just evaporates.
We can call this the praise trap. It's a really simple but deadly idea. The good feeling you get from telling people you're gonna do something replaces the good feeling you're supposed to get from actually doing it. You get the reward before you've done any of the work, and that just short-circuits the whole system.
For Simon, this is a total light bulb moment. It hits him like a ton of bricks. He finally sees the pattern, he understands why he's been failing, so he decides he's going to try something totally new, a completely different approach.
He picks a small, real goal. Just build one chair. But this time, the rules are totally different. Step 1, tell nobody. 0. He works in silence. He struggles with the wood, he messes up, he figures it out, all by himself. No praise, no applause. His new mantra is simple. Let the finished work do the talking.
And through this process, he discovers there are 2 types of pride. There's that empty pride he was always chasing, the kind that comes from talk and applause. It feels good for a minute, but it's like candy. It fades fast. And then there's real pride, the kind that comes from actually doing the work, that deep satisfaction of looking at something you made, knowing you pushed through the hard parts. That's a feeling that lasts a lifetime. And so, Simon didn't stop at one chair. He built another, then tables, then shelves. Over time, he became a master craftsman.
People didn't know him for his grand plans anymore. They knew him for his incredible work. He finally earned real respect, the kind that's built on what you've done, not what you're gonna do. Okay, so that's a great story for Simon, but what about you? What about us? How do we take this lesson and actually apply it to our own lives? Let's talk about an action plan to protect your own dreams from falling into that same trap.
All right, here's the game plan. First, treat your new ideas like they're fragile seedlings. They need to be protected, so keep them quiet. Nurture them with actual effort, not words. You have to fight that urge to get that early validation. Find your joy in the struggle, in the process itself, and make this your new rule. Let your results be the announcement.
I love this quote. It really sums the whole thing up, doesn't it? The world does not need to know what you are building. It only needs to see what you have built. It's all about shifting your focus. Stop looking for applause for your plans and start earning respect for your achievements.
So I want to leave you with this thought. What's that one big thing you have? That idea you've maybe talked about a little too much? What if, starting today, you just stopped talking about it and just started building it? Quietly, consistently. What amazing thing will you build in silence? Thanks so much for joining me.